Good evening, matinee free വെബിനാറിലേക്ക് ഒരിക്കൽ കൂടി എല്ലാവർക്കും സ്വാഗതം. പതിപോലെ ഇന്ന് ടെക്നോളജി ബേസ്ഡ് ആയിട്ട് ക്ലാസ് ആണ്. പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ഇന്ത്യൻ എക്കോണമിയായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് ഇന്റർനെറ്റിന്റെ യൂസേജ് അതെങ്ങനെയാണ് ഇന്ത്യൻ എക്കോണമിയെ ബാധിക്കുന്നതെന്ന് തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും നമുക്ക് കണ്ണൻ സാറിൽ നിന്ന് കേൾക്കാം. എല്ലാവരെയും സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യുന്നു. അതോടൊപ്പം കണ്ണൻ സാറിനെയും. കണ്ണൻ സാർ, യു ആർ വെൽക്കം.
First of all, let me thank Dr. Sabu for another opportunity to deliver a talk on a techno-economic subject. Today's topic is about internet penetration in India's population. That means how many people in India get access to internet and how it will have an effect on the economy of the country. That's what we are going to discuss today. And you all remember that we started getting internet only about 30 years back. And initially it started with a simple digital communication where you could send text, email, you could send messages, etc. And slowly it became more advanced by you could send photographs, you could send videos, you could send voice messages, all in the digital domain. And today it's become a very compelling necessity, not only for individuals, but also for institutions, as well as for government, as well as for societies, and even for the whole country. Wherever you go, from your house to another place on holiday or visit something, first thing you check is, do you have connectivity for internet, so that you can get back to your friends and families, get reunited. At the institutional level, internet has enabled improvement in productivity, safety, and better customer care. Our societies have had better access to healthcare and education thanks to internet. It has improved over the entire country. And at the national level, internet has provided platforms of e-governance, which has made significant contribution to economic activities. So we are going to discuss all these aspects today and see how Indian population is utilizing the internet, what are they using the internet for, and how is the economy benefiting from it. So with this, I will upload my presentation. Can you see my presentation now?
Okay, sir. Sure.
Right. So I'm saying that 43 crores of Indians are not using internet. I'm making a statement and I'll justify it. Why 43 crores? It's either they're not having connectivity, or they don't want to use internet, or they don't have a phone to use internet, or a computer to use internet. But the fact is, almost 30% of our population is not using internet. So let us see more on this. It's of interest to many of you that internet was formally released in India through MTNL, which permitted, as I told you earlier, communication of text and some limited photographs and videos, etc. And this started in August 95, almost 30 years back. In the same year, 2G phones became operational, which permitted communication while you're on the move. Mobile phones, 2G phones came into circulation, came into use, but their speed was very small. Almost a decade later, 3G technology permitted digital data through mobile phones, like the one you could send from desktop and laptop, maybe a dial-up mode, or fiber had not come into that at that point of time, through landline. Then 4G came, and now 5G has come. All this increased speed, bandwidth, and therefore you could send more data. And this has become the backbone of present social media. So the impact of internet has been huge on national economic activities through the communication portals, be it for e-governance, banking, healthcare, education, etc. I just want to tell you, essentially, internet is used by two groups. One, individuals, another is institutions. In the institutions, I also include banks and companies and government, etc. So there are two ways the internet is being exploited. And let us see what's the difference between two terms which you will hear as we go along. One is penetration and other is adoption. Just a small difference is there. When you say penetration, that means access is available to the citizen. Wherever he goes, he has an access. Anytime he has got access. He can download, upload, and get the services of internet. In which case, then he's a satisfied customer as long as the speed is okay, the bandwidth is all right, etc. Adoption is slightly more advanced. That means a company or an organization uses the internet for enhanced activities, not just sending messages or uploading and downloading. Look at Amazon. He uses for commercial activities, e-commerce. You look at Swiggy. He uses the internet for delivery systems. You look at e-governance. He uses for strategy. So companies, delivery companies, banks, etc., are using internet in an adoptive manner. That means they adopt the internet as a very important technology for taking forward their role in a speedy execution. Right? Now, there are many factors which impact on internet penetration and adoption. I'll just tell you the factors. As we go along, we'll discuss. The first thing is the type of internet which you have, right? Whether you are having through fiber, or you're having through landline, or what is the technology which gives you the connectivity. So that is very, very important. Second or third factor is speed. How much of speed is there for you to interact on internet, uploading or downloading? Then what is the data cost when you utilize internet? And lastly, what is the technology? So we will discuss these factors as we go along, but it is not the same in all places. The internet service which is available in, let us say, Idiki, may not be as efficient as the internet available in Trivandrum, due to many reasons, with the type of network you have, the connectivity, etc. So as we go along, we'll just see these are the different types of internet which are made available, either through you have broadband, or you have a cable, or you're a dial-up system. There are about 9 types are there, out of which one I have crossed is not there in India. India does not have internet through satellite. It has not yet come. It may come. We'll see it as we go along. But at the moment, satellite provision of internet is not there in India. It's only through the other modes which I have shown there to you. And these 9 types, they use different techniques, they use different technologies, and penetration and adoption in each case will depend upon multiple factors, as I told you earlier. Now, in the world, today population is around 8.2 billion. Internet users are only 5.5. That means only around 67% or 68% people have access to internet. When you look at the whole world, the global level, it is only this much. But it has increased In this graph, you can see from 2005 to 2024, it slowly increased year after year. But remember, it's only about 67 to 68% global average. And if you look at worldwide internet penetration, it has increased from 35%. Sorry, I'll go back. It has increased to 68%, as I told you earlier, in Feb 2025. So the number of people having internet per 100 citizens is shown here. It varies from country to country. I'm not saying what is India's average now. I'll come to that a little later. But this is the graph. It's also increasing with time. If you look at number of citizens having mobile phones, you take 100 citizens of India. India is a developing country, all right. And the number of people having mobile phones, that term is called tele-density. Either they have a mobile phone or they have a landline. They may be having both. So when you have a facility to communicate, the number of people having one of these, either mobile or landline, some may have even both, India is around 85%. 15% of people don't have either a mobile or a landline access in India. While in developed countries, 100 people have 133 telephones. How? As I told you, some people may have two mobiles, they may have a landline addition. So if you look at the number of lines versus the population, in developed countries, it's more than 100, while in developing countries, it is lower. India is only around 85%, and we are less than the world average. Now, if you look at the speed of internet in India, I will come to that. There is a test called OOKLA test, OOKLA test. That's a standard test which is used all over the world to check the speed of your internet at various times, and then an average is taken. The highest is Singapore. Singapore has got the most speedy internet in the world. Then comes UAE, then comes Hong Kong, and so on it goes. And I've shown the slide what is the speed in Singapore. It's about 336 megabits per second. UAE is just after that. France is at fourth position. United States in the seventh position. India is at the 94th position. That means the speeds available for communication in India is only 62 megabits, which is 1/5 of what is there in Singapore. So if your speed is less, it's like collecting water on a tap. If the water flows less, you'll take more time. Similarly, if the internet speed is less, you will get more time to download, and similarly for upload. So India's rank is pretty low. You can see this is a report which has been published some time back. India's rank is 94. Greece is just above us, and Armenia is just below us. But this needs to be improved. At the moment, it is not satisfactory. The speed is the average speed is not good enough. Now let us look at the usage. The usage in various countries varies with the speed. Higher the speed, more usage. The highest is in an island, Curacao, near Caribbean island. Then comes Kuwait. Then comes Finland and Saudi Arabia, and so on. And you can see the highest consumption is 130 gigahertz per head per month, which is pretty good. Almost 4 gigabits every day in that country. Then comes Kuwait, and then comes Saudi, as I told you. India is at the 87th rank. So the consumption of data in India is very low. Of course, speed is low, then consumption will be low. People don't have all the time to sit on internet. So Both these are interconnected. But our standard consumption, which is around 30 odd gigabits, is not very high, not at all high in global average. We are 87th rank. Now let us see cost. When it comes to cost, Israel is 1.7. I'm putting everything in rupees so you understand. Israel is 1.7 rupees for 1 gigabit. Then comes Italy. Then comes India, 12 rupees for 1 gigabit. We are global average number 3. So when you look at speed, when you look at usage, when you look at cost, we are very high ranking in cost. That means we are giving it relatively cheap. But when it comes to speed and usage, our ranks are somewhere in 80s and 90s. Just remember that. So just by saying India is giving data at only rupees 12 per gigabits, that doesn't give the full story. You have to look at speed and the cost and the usage, etc. Now let us see a little more details about India's internet characteristics. I'm just showing the population first in this chart. Left-hand side is male, the blue color. Right-hand side is female population. I would like to discard children up to the age of 9. I'm assuming that they are not using internet, but that's not correct. They, from 6 years onwards, 7 years onwards, they may be using internet. But let's assume till about 10, they don't use internet. And people above 80 are also not using internet. I'm making an assumption. It's only an assumption. And if you see the age profile of Indian population, you find about 16% of population are either below 10 and some are above 80. Both put together, it's about 17%. So 17% of our population may not be permitted or may not have the inclination, may not be interested in going to internet because either they are too old, they are happy with somebody else is using and they are able to see a movie on OTT, or they are able to see some one odd WhatsApp video which is being shown to them. While children, I think there is a lot of restriction being put by parents. Don't look at internet, don't see, waste your time on internet. So about 17% of our population are not having easy access to the internet. If you look at that, the number of people who are having the potential to use the internet is only 83%, which our population is 140 crores. So it's about 116 crores of people can use internet in India. Just remember this. Taking away children and old people, about 116 crores of people can be utilizing the internet, thereby contributing to various activities, be it for banking, be it for healthcare, be it for education, and thereby the economy is improving because a lot of benefits in using internet. Now, TRAI is the main authority in India, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, who has the official statistics on all the users. So let us look what TRAI is saying. TRAI says that in India, the population number of telephone connections are about 120 crores. 120 crores have got telephone connections, either mobile or landline, and therefore our tele density is around 85%. Very good. That's what we saw in the graph also earlier. Out of the above, only 97 crores have got access. Out of this 120, 119.9, 120 crores. People having telephone connections, mobile connection or landline, only 97 have got access to internet. Remaining don't have access. And in 97, 4G and 5G account for 94. And narrow band, that is 2G, and 3G, about 2.7 crore, very small value. So you find the number of people having access to internet as per TRA report, annual report, which has just come. Only 69% of Indians have access. Are very close to global average. Sometime back we saw it was 68.9% global average. We are in the middle. We are in the global average level, about 69%. And some of the foreign reports, if you see, they indicate it is not 69%, it is around 55%. The reason why they are showing such low value is not very clear. It could be due to some exclusion of children and elderly and all from that value. So I will go by TRA report, which is issued by the government of India. 69% people have access to internet. 69%, just remember that. That's all access. But 30% don't have access. Now, if you see India's penetration rate as per some international reports, as I told you, is very, very low. But we will go by TRA report. Right. Now, just to give you a little more details. In the access, 54% male and 46% female are having the access. If you look at urban, it's 55, rural 45. And if you look at the age profile of people who are using, maximum use is by people who are in the 30s to 40s. They are the people who are using. People below 17 years, it is little less. And people above 55 years is also less. But the middle two lines, they are the people who are using internet maximum. Now, as I told you, 54, 46 female, urban, rural, and mostly used by between 18 and 54 years. You look at states, Goa is very high, Maharashtra is high, Kerala is high. All these are, the values are given there. But in UP, Bihar, UP West as well as East, both are low. Bihar, very low, where the population is also high. So we have a situation, there are many people in these states, UP and Bihar, who don't have access like people have in Maharashtra, Goa, and Kerala. So let us look at a little more details about this, about internet usage in India. I told you the speed is only 62, and usage is based on the gender, mobile access to internet, tele density, so many factors. And if you look at the usage, maximum is on Facebook. People, 64% of use of internet in India is on Facebook. Then comes Instagram. Then comes YouTube. Then comes whatever is by, education and this thing. So you see our speed is low, our usage is low, cost may be very small, okay? Speed is low, usage is low, and within that usage, it is social media which is having maximum, while other uses by subscribers, etc., is relatively less. So let us see another some more factors. 90% of people use mobiles for internet. Obviously, 10% are using landline for internet. This could be more an institutional thing where they have networks of computers which are based on fiber optic connections. So they may be not using mobile that much, more on computers. Priority in viewing is, as I told you, video, online, search engine, social media, and very little for banking and tutorials, etc. If you put all of them together, social media and gaming are priority areas in India. Now, just make a point. Gaming is a high priority area for Indian users. We will come back to this point because gaming has got certain requirements, which I have not touched upon now. I'll come to that a little later. So for Indian users, it is social media, gaming being higher priority, and some music and banking and tutorials, etc. 40% people use internet in English, 24 in Hindi, and rest all small percentages. On an average, a person spends 1.5 hours a day on social media. I think that is, many of us may be spending even more than 1.5 hours, but average is about 1.5 hours. 5G, which has been launched by Jio and Airtel, has really improved usage, and now usage has gone up. The latest report which has come yesterday, not by TRAI, but by the telecom companies, they say usage has gone up. That's fine. We will expect it to go further. And who are the service providers? 45% is by Jio, 30% by Airtel, 16% by VI, and only 7% by BSNL, and 0.2% by MTNL. We can disregard that. So it is more than 90% by private companies in India, and less than 10% by public sector. So highest is, of course, as Jio, and private sector is dominating as compared to public. Now, let's recall all this data and see what can the government do to improve access as well as utilization. So I'm quickly getting all the important points. Population is 140 crores, all of us remember. Tele density is 86%. There will be number of people having a phone connection, landline or mobile. Number of telecom subscribers as per TRI is about 120 crores. Potential users are 116. I've removed children below 10 and elderly people above 80. But only 97.1 are having access to the internet. A significant drop, even though there are 120 crores of people. Internet penetration, as I told you earlier, it's only 69%. So not connected to internet is 31%. So let us see some more details. So the number of people not having internet in India is 43 crores. Till now, I've given you data from various reports, TRA reports, some international reports, some telecom companies report, but it focuses on 43 crores Indians don't have access to internet. Why? Let us see that why they don't have access. First is, there are 5 reasons why they are not having internet. First is 4G is not there in all villages in India. Believe it. I am going to give you result from a parliamentary answer by the minister. How many villages are not connected with 4G? Simple internet should have 4G, not 2G. But if you have to have 4G, you should have a smartphone. You should have the money to pay for your usage. Moment you go to 4G, you will have WhatsApp, you will have videos, you will have YouTube, you will have Facebook, etc. Usage will go up and you'll have to pay. But fortunately in India, the data rate is very low. So people may be able to afford, but he has to buy a phone. All phones are not smart. 2G phones are not smart. So if you still have 2G population in India, there'll be a number, which I'll come to later, who cannot use the internet for photos, videos, and various other social media applications. There are some people who don't have the digital literacy. They don't know how to use it. They don't know how to use Facebook, how to use WhatsApp, or how to upload a video or download something. They don't know. So they shy away from internet and say, I don't want internet. I'm happy without internet. So we need to fill in these blanks, how we can increase our usage penetration, and we should bring in suitable technologies. So we will focus on the next 5 slides, what are these governments' plan to improve internet access to citizens, and therefore it'll have a benefit, direct benefit on economy. So the 5 steps the government is planning to do to increase IP, there is a project called BharatNet, which is laying fiber optic cables throughout India. BharatNet phase 1 is over, phase 2 is getting completed, there's a phase 3 which is coming. But overall, it will have nearly about 7 lakh kilometers of optical fiber network within India. Some time back, I told you 6,44,000 villages are there in India, and only 90% have access. 10%, I'm sorry, out of 6.44 lakhs, 6.12 lakhs have 3G or 4G. 3G is not good enough, but you will still be able to get some speed in 3G. So the balanced villages, which is about 32,000, don't have access. And since they don't have access, they're not having internet. Why they're not having access? Either they are in hilly areas, or they are in mountainous areas, or they are very close to border. Therefore, tower is not permitted to be installed close to the border. Border maybe with Nepal, border maybe with Bhutan, maybe with Myanmar, maybe with Pakistan, maybe with Bangladesh. There are some rules which don't permit. Now, it is very important that we overcome these aspects. I'm just connecting up my plug. Okay, right. Now, so what the government has done is they have started installing towers, telecom towers in border area villages. This has started, and the rules corresponding to it has been in the Indian Telegraphic Act has been changed, and also wherever they want to put a fiber optic cable, that will have the right of way. You cannot say my paddy field is here, or some other playground is there, you can't put a cable. Fiber optic cables will have the right of way to take internet connection to the other side of the village. So these rules have been changed, and BharatNet project phase 3 is expected to complete internet connection to the balance 32 villages in some time frame of, let us say, 4 to 5 years. Second, today in India, you have 4 levels of internet: 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G. You know, 5G has recently come. 4G was there earlier. 4G and 5G are important. Their speeds are high, but not so much for 3G and not at all for 2G. So you have an issue. Out of 97 crore people having mobile phones in 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G, 2G is a very small population, 0.11 crore. Rest are all as shown in the diagram. You will find the maximum is in 4G. 75 crores people have 4G connection. And 5G is picking up. It's almost come to 22 crores now. So the affordability aspect in internet depends on what package you take. Are you taking 4G or 5G? If you're taking 4G or 5G and to utilize it effectively, you've got a smartphone and you have to buy the data depending on your consumption. Smartphone may cost anything around 7,000 rupees approximately, and 1 GB data is 12 rupees. While a non-smartphone, let's take a 2G phone, is available for 1,000. So a relatively poor person, he has got an option. Do I buy a 2G phone or a 4G phone? 1,000 and 7,000. A lot of difference for him. And 2G phone permits him to speak, voice is able to convey, is able to send small text, SMS, and small digital communications possible, which doesn't require lots of bandwidth. He may decide, I'm happy with this. I don't want a smartphone. I don't want to get hooked on to social media and use of internet for downloading videos and this thing or other applications. You have a group, you have a population segment which may say that they're happy with 2G. We're coming to that point soon. So many of the underprivileged may be forced to say 2G is enough. But there are many people who are having the money, but they say 2G is okay for me. I don't want 4G. So you got two types of people in 2G. One is who cannot afford 4G, and one who can afford, but they don't want to get tempted by 4G. Both these are applicable. We'll see the detail the next slide. So 2G has been a big hero when it came. Everybody could get a small handset on which you can speak, you can send SMS, etc. So 2G phones, which work on very narrow band, is capable of voice and texting, but image and video is not possible. There are 27 crore 2G users in India. I told you some time back, 43 crores people don't have access to internet. But within that, 27 crores are 2G segment. They don't want to move out of 2G. They're happy with 2G for multiple reasons. One, it could be affordability. Two, digital literacy. We really don't know how to use this phone for WhatsApp and internet downloading and Facebook and all that. They say, don't want. Then they also want have a phone which they'll be able to speak to their dear ones, and that matches their lifestyle. In many of the rural areas, they're just happy to having a 2G phone and don't want to waste time. I'm using their language on phones, on spending on the internet. So there is a problem here. 27 crore people out of 43 are the 2G segments. So if you totally replace 2G phones, let's assume all the 2G phones were replaced to 4G phones by some method, then your internet penetration will go from 69% to 88%. And all those people will start using the 4G phones which they've just got for banking services. They're also using it for various other e-governance modules. They'll also be able to use it for healthcare. They'll be able to use it for telemedicine, which is come under Ayushman Bharat. So many things they can use, but they don't have this 4G phone. They're still with 2G. The same problem happened in Vietnam. In 2024, Vietnam decided to ban 2G. Says no more 2G in India. I'm sorry, in Vietnam. And the government gave 4G phones under some concession to the 2G owners. It's a good example. Our government can look at it, whether this is possible. Of course, 27 crore people is a large number. So somebody has to look at how they will make these people migrate from 2G to 4G, which is good for the economy, right? So should India also do this? I will give you some more details. Where are these 27 crore people? BSNL, 9.2 crores. Airtel, 9 crores. VI, 8.3 crores. Geo, there's no 2G, Geo, zero. So all Geos in 4G and 5G. So you got about 27 crore people happy with or not finding 4G affordable, who need to migrate from the low-end spectrum to a higher spectrum. How can this happen? It has to be a government's decision. Ministry of Communication has to decide how they will be able to implement to help people migrate from 2G, away from 2G to a higher spectrum. Now let us look at, this is one of the important factors. The digital literacy of the non-users of internet is an important factor. Government has launched National Digital Literacy Mission to make them familiar with how computers can be utilized, how mobile phones can be utilized, how they can do their railway ticket purchase, how they can sell their product, how they can use e-commerce for buying items without having to go to the shop. The items will get delivered home. They can use it for healthcare. They can use it for education for their children. So many aspects are there. So there's a National Digital Literacy Mission, which has been started by government some time back. And they are trying to improve, especially in rural areas, improve the literacy level of people so that they become friendly to internet, they become friendly to smartphones. This aim is the government is at least one member in each family to have this literacy level achieved, so that once they see, maybe the children, once they see the children using their mobile phones for enablers of efficiency, enablers of productivity, and using e-commerce, using it for, as I told you earlier, healthcare and education, they would slowly, it'll spread, and 2G people will move away from 4G. Of course, the government can also look at some subsidy scheme at this. So this is another factor which the government has done. Now I come to some technologies which you may have read in the papers last 10, 15 days, what has happened. BSNL is trying to use something called air fiber. Actually, they use fiber, optical fiber, which are laid in the ground, underground, but they're just calling it air fiber. That means they have a transmitting tower, they have a receiving tower, and let us imagine there are two villages, one on this side of the river, one on the other side of the river. The water body is in the center. The other side don't have fiber optic cable laid because of this water body. So there you can transmit using a tower to the other side. And the other side, once they are established communication, they can connect to all the subscribers on the other side. So Bharat Air Fiber has been tried out. It is work satisfactory. It is very similar to what Airtel is doing, but Airtel is doing more for their 5G in urban areas, while BSNL is trying to do in rural areas. And if this becomes a success, if Bharat Air Fiber becomes a success after it's implemented, then some more people will shift to internet. Some more villages will get covered by internet coverage, access. I don't have the information how many villages Bharat Air Fiber has been installed. The detail is not available in the annual report. So I presume it is in the process of being installed and not yet completed. Someone else who has got more idea on this can share during the Q&A session. Now, the another way of communicating to inaccessible areas, I told you in the hilly regions, mountains, etc., are through satellite. You remember, satellite mode of internet is one of the 9 modes, and I told you it is not there in India. Satellite internet is not there in India today. It is not permitted. But government has recently given approval to a company called Starlink, owned by Elon Musk, saying you can tie up with some Indian telecom operators to start satellite internet in India especially in rural areas. But before we go there, let us look at Starlink's uh, parameters. Starlink has already got 5,000 satellites. It will take data from here, from the blue one, which upload goes, and then it is given to the consumer here from the satellite. The satellite can also give the information to another satellite directly in space, and it can come to the user who is in some other location, depending upon where the satellite is covering at that point of time. And these satellites operate in very low orbit from the Earth. It's about 500 kilometers from Earth. I just want to make a small deviation. Many of you have got Tata Sky in your house, and Tata Sky comes from satellite. And that satellite is a geostationary satellite about 36,000 kilometers above Earth. But you don't have to speak to the satellite. The dish will get the data from the satellite and give it to your TV. All the thing which you do is on the setup box. There's no communication from you to the satellite. Communication is there only from the satellite to your house, bringing dish TV. But here, for internet, you need to communicate. You need to send your message. You need to send your video. You need to send photographs. So it is required bidirectional from your home to satellite and from satellite to your friend's house where you're sending the data. So for one way, 500 milliseconds are lost in latency. The data takes 500 milliseconds to reach the satellite, and another set of latency for reaching your destination. Now, 500 milliseconds, you may think it's very small. Tata Sky, when it sends from 36,000 kilometers, the latency is more than 2-3 seconds. But doesn't matter to you if the TV picture comes 3 seconds later. All channels will be suffering like that. So it is not real time when it comes from Tata Sky. It is slightly delayed because the transmission has to reach the Earth. But in internet, also you may not mind half a second, 1 second. Sometime back I told you in gaming. But if you are wanting to do gaming through your mobiles, through your computers, this delay of half a second, 500 milliseconds, half a second, can be a disadvantage. Therefore, satellite TV has got a disadvantage when it comes to applications like gaming. Now, I've told you about the latency part. Cost of connection, 30,000. How many people can afford it in India? Have a dish, another dish. Tata Sky is one, another dish for satellite TV, satellite internet. It costs 30,000 rupees and monthly subscription will be 3,000. So the people who want to go to satellite TV are not the 2G owners for certain, are not the people who are in the lower income group. It's only in the higher income group can afford a satellite TV. So in rural areas, in hilly areas, mountain, there may not be many takers for satellite TV. We should bear this mind. But let's go forward with the technology. Satellite internet, even though it came about 25 years back, it exists only in 3-4 countries now. USA has got Starlink. I told you Elon Musk. UK has got something called OneWeb. China has got ChinaNet. I told you government has already sanctioned. They're saying you can have collaboration with some Indian. So Jio and Airtel are likely to collaborate. But satellite TV has got another issue. It has got a data security issue. As per Indian law, all transmissions which are leaving the country have to go through a portal, a gateway. Remember, sometime back we discussed undersea cables. Undersea cables, when they leave from their landing stations, like Bombay is there, Kochi is there, Chennai is there, etc. When they leave that landing station, there's a record of who has sent data for how long. The contents of the data may be recorded, but we are not discussing that now. So there's a record. But if you have direct transmission to satellite and leaves your country, you have no idea what has gone from India to the satellite, and from satellite it's gone to another satellite. From there it's gone somewhere else. So there is a law which is presently stipulating this. So government has to look at it. How will you permit satellite TV, satellite internet with the present law in force? Second, recently, about a month back, a Chinese satellite destroyed a low Earth orbit satellite by a laser. That means your low Earth orbit satellite, which is what Elon Musk has done, 5,000 satellite he has got. You can easily shoot it down by a laser gun fired from another satellite. Actually, Chinese proved this technology only to shoot down low Earth orbit satellites, which are doing photography, let's say, of your border areas, defense interested in various installations of those areas. And if you find there's a satellite of another country trying to take photographs, you can shoot it down. Not from the Earth. From Earth also you can shoot down, but that has got some limitation of 200 kilometers or 250 kilometers. But from another satellite, you can shoot it by laser. So if these people are trying to take away some photographs, etc., of some installations in the country, and you know about it, and the government decides to shoot it down, you can. So it's like a space war. And China has recently demonstrated its capability to shoot down a low Earth orbit satellite, which are normally used in imaging to take photographs and then see what is the situation as far as defense ministry is concerned. Apart from that, satellite internet is vulnerable to rain. If there's heavy rain, you may have interruption in your transmission and reception. So there's a security issue. There is a vulnerability issue of satellite. There is a rain hazard, and there is affordability. So all these aspects are stacked not in favor of satellite internet. But there may be some people who are wanting to opt for satellite internet, and these satellite internets may get installed in some of the areas where 4G penetration has not reached by conventional method. Conventional method is fiber optic cable. Now, there's a new thing which has happened very recently. Can you see this photograph with this green light? This has been started by a startup with an Indian company participating in it. It's called Tara. This startup has been able to provide connectivity using light beams. And this has been found very useful when you have one hill, you want to transmit to another hill. You can directly send a light beam, sending digital communication in the light beam, modulated on light, which will provide internet on the other side. You can't lay a fiber optic cable from the mountain down the valley and then up the mountain again. It may not be feasible. You may not be able to do across a river, across a water body. So this company has demonstrated in nearly 12 countries, most of them in Africa, how light energy can be used for internet connectivity. That means you modulate the light, and on the other side, you're able to demodulate it and use it for internet connectivity. They have been able to achieve nearly 20 gigabits per second transfer, which is very good. They have been able to get a range of 20 kilometers using a 40 watts power, which is also very good. So it is efficient by power. It is meeting the requirement of connectivity uh, within certain parameters of distance, like 20 kilometers between the transmitting point and receiving point. Of course, you can have a relay system by which it can get extended. And as I told you, about 12 countries are already using it. So with this, we have seen the technologies available for internet is either air fiber or satellite internet or light energy, light beams to reach the villages in India which are not having fiber, optical fiber connected by BharatNet. So government needs to look at all these technologies that are available to provide access to the 32,000 villages which are yet to get connection. They should also look at how 2G owners can be weaned away, pulled away from 2G and brought to 4G by various schemes. And they should be able to bring in the literacy level, digital literacy level in rural India, poor families. So they have the benefit of internet for their children, for education, for healthcare, e-governance issue, and so e-commerce issue, and thereby they're able to participate and bring in a lot of benefits to the economy. In some of the developed countries, internet is directly responsible for nearly 3 to 4% of GDP. So it may not be at that level in India now. It could be less than 1.5%. But if you are able to expand it to many areas and also intensify our internet usage, also increase the speed at which you can give internet connectivity, we will also have a significant contribution to the GDP because we are connected through internet. So let's see our conclusions. Internet has disrupted our life. It has changed our lifestyle, but it is also shaping economy of different countries and is achieving this through mobiles, landlines, and maybe in some countries through satellites. I don't know what will happen for satellite in India, I'm not sure, but it is being examined by the government. I told you globally, we are only 67% population connected, but you look at many other countries, which are in Europe as well as in Middle East, they have nearly 99% connectivity for their population. India is just global average, 69%, around 69% of the 140 crores with low speed of connectivity, low speed transmission of 62 megabits. And you have the usage only at 27 gigabits. I understand the latest report from telecom companies, it's around 32 gigabits per month for a user. But gladly, our cost is very, very low, where we have the third rank in the world. I have already showed you the arithmetic of 43 crore people not having access to internet. And this can be due to connectivity issues not there in villages, or speed is very, very low, or they don't have the digital literacy, or they just don't want to have the desire to have internet in their homes, or through, they find it as a distraction. And therefore, digital literacy is something which has to be utilized to make sure that they migrate to the internet using segment of the population. 2G phones is a great comfort for many of them because it matches their lifestyle of simple living, but that also needs to be looked at how government can move them to 4G through some welfare schemes. I told you 27 crores of Indians are in 2G. Vietnam had a similar problem and they found a method of banning 2G and getting all the people shift to 4G. In relatively in connectivity in rural and wilderness areas where fiber optic cables cannot be laid in the conventional manner, we discussed about air fiber, satellite links, and light beams. One of them, or some of them, will have to be selected by the government to provide access. Satellite links do have some concerns. I told you about security, affected by rain, and affordability, etc. So as Indian economy continues to be weakened presently by the low IP, there's a need for us to wean away the 2G people and bring them into the 4G segment or the 5G segment through suitable new technologies. Thereby, they access internet and utilize internet for many applications in e-governance, healthcare, in education, in e-commerce, for marketing of their own goods if they are farmers through the net, and thereby not only make their life more organized, with higher productivity and efficiency, but also contribute to the economy of this country. With this, ladies and gentlemen, I conclude my talk. Jai Hind. If there are any questions, I will take them.
താങ്ക് യു സാർ, താങ്ക് യു വെരി മച്ച്. തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും ഇന്ത്യയുടെ എക്കോണമിയെ 43 crore ജനങ്ങളിലേക്ക് കൂടി ഇന്റർനെറ്റ് എത്തിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് പുതിയൊരു തലത്തിലേക്ക് മാറ്റുന്നതിനെ കുറിച്ചാണ് സാർ പറഞ്ഞത്. താങ്ക് യു വെരി മച്ച്. സുകുമാർ സാർ, എന്തെങ്കിലും കമന്റ്സ് പറയും? അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യും സാർ. അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ആവുന്നില്ല.
Unmute.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you, anyway, I can speak now. It's not a big a problem. As usual, very good topic Kannan has presented, which many of us are still do not know much about these things. And like the fundamental needs of before in our childhood, air, water, food. After that, electricity came, and now without mobile, I think 5 of these things all have become a part and parcel of our daily life. So, from what Kannan said, I understood 2G will fade away, or I mean eradicated course of time. But to continue with the 2G is really very horrible in day-to-day life. This e-governance, all online booking, online reservation, and everything. Everything is done on online, and 2G will not help us much, and people will have to go for 2G at any cost. There's no way. And regarding that, the last one, at least by light beam, I found an analogy, maybe Kannan can explain. For theodolite survey, we were using theodolite for surveying. Now the system has gone to total station. And what I understand, the total station, they are sending a beam to the distant object, and from that, once it is incident on that pole, so everything, your back bearing, front bearing, angle, distance, everything is measured in total session. I don't know much about it, but still I feel an analogy about this beam communication. That's what I want to tell now. Anyway, it was a wonderful topic, and many of us are having a good knowledge about this. But still, the digital literacy is very low in India. People are, as you said, people are not parting with the 2G phones. that has to be, transformation has to come very fast. Anyway, thank you for Kannan, very good.
Thank you, Sri. In spite of you being indisposed, you're able to come. I'm very happy about it. Because it's a great support to hear from my classmate from engineering college come and share his views on
MT Matthew Thomas also there. MT Matthew.
All of us have understood 2G phones need to go by some method. Make them attractive and either improve their digital literacy or financial help, or make it available for the customers under some lower data usage cost. They have to look into it. But till now, the government has not come with any proposal except saying those 34,000 villages we will try and connect by some technology. And I given 2-3 technologies option which the government can look at. I would think it'll be finally mostly Bharat Fiber, because it's a simpler one and it is public sector, and you're not linked with any. And I don't think you require satellite internet at this point of time for our villages. I don't see much merit in that. But the discussions are going on between Elon Musk and Jio and Airtel. Let's see what happens. Thank you, Sri.
No, yeah, even before, KSCB is using carrier telephony through our power lines. There's a top earth wire, fiber optic wire, optical, not optical fiber optic. So through which we used to amplify the audio signal to the radio signal. Then, like a super and receiver. Yes.
Dedicated KSEB is not only in KSEB, many thermal power corporations, the national grid lines, they are connected through, they have a dedicated system. More because the data which is at that point of time in the grid control needs to be shared with other controllers with very little loss of time, very little latency. So therefore, it was critical. Even railways have got a separate communication system for theirs, and so that's not included in Bharat Fiber.
Yeah.
BSNL, I think more details on BSNL you will ask Sabu. Yeah. Anybody else?
Yeah. Sir, I would like to thank you, Vice Admiral, for all the great information you have given us. We are not having these knowledges. One question I want to ask you. India's population, 96 crore people are using this. But in Saudi Arabia, you're telling it is in the 4th place. But there are only 3 crores people, 2.5 crores people. 3 crore people, 3 or 3.5. And also in Australia, it is only 2.5 crore. But we have 96 crore people are using. That means the cumulative usage is much higher than Saudi Arabia, Australia, such countries where the population is very low. We are telling about the per capita use, per person use. This 87th place. We are in the 87th place in the world. This you are considering about the usage in per person or per capita, I can say per person. But if you use the total usage, because 96 crores people are using internet in India, but in Saudi Arabia, the population only is 3.5 million crores. And in Australia, it is 2.5 crores. Then how they are coming on the top? You're telling, just want to make clear that it is per person usage.
Raju Philip, thank you very much for that question. I just want to tell you that when you have your population very high. You may be by GDP 4th rank in the world. Today we are 4th rank. We are just overtaken Japan a month back. But when you per capita GDP, if you look at, we are pretty low because the GDP divided by 140 crores people. There are too many mouths to feed in this country. It has got disadvantages. There are some advantages also. So when you have the population being very high, per capita GDP will be very low, even though our gross GDP is the 4th rank. Now coming to taking an example of internet. Quality of life depends upon many factors. And you have to look at purchasing power parity, how much for so much rupees, how much can you buy, what standard of living you can have, how many cars are there for India's population, how many people, amongst how many people there's one car or motorcycle. So internet is already figuring in many factors which are considered for quality of life. When you say your quality of life in India is not very high, that's what you're saying. While in Saudi Arabia or Australia or somewhere, it's high. There are less number of people. The resources are shared by smaller number of people. In India, the resources are shared by large number of people. And therefore, you get to only benefit from a small value of the entire resource. Be it whatever, be it water, be it electricity, be it internet, be it total GDP. So we should look at ways and means to improve our quality of life in the country. What are the factors controlling the quality of life as per international norms? In this talk, it's about internet. So internet availability for a large number of population is a factor which decides the quality of life, which makes citizen-friendly approach of the government so that they benefit from having availability of internet. You're going from home to another place. The first thing or first two things which you check is there water available here? Okay, water is available. Is internet available? Am I right? These are factors which you check, because today you have come to a stage that internet has to be available all the time for the citizens. So it's a matter which you have to build up the capability, be it in speed, be it in access, be it in reach. In all the cases, do it. Right.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Now we understand.
Understand. Okay, thank you. Sabu.
Hariharan sir. Unmute you, sir. Unmute you.
Mute ആയില്ല.
Clear ആയില്ലേ?
Yes, yes.
I have listened to this talk with a mixed feeling. I was very proud, at the same very sad also, because compared to very small countries, he has mentioned a couple of countries which are much, much smaller. They are by high above in the slab of the availability of this service. Whereas we are, in spite of our fact that we are the 4th power in the world, yes, that is also, he has also explained subsequently that because of the vast population. So I am proud. See, for example, if you take a country, 68%, let us say 68 crores people are serviced by this facility mean, it's not a joke. It's a big effect. Let us be proud of that. And of course, and there was a question about doing away with the 2G. No, let us retain 2G because I don't know how many of you remember. It is the 2G, most of the traders have flourished, especially the fishermen. The traders, they were vegetable traders. They could compare the market. There is no need for any 4G or standard phone and all that. There's no need. They were doing about 20-25 years back, they started. So, of course, 2G, you can't wish away because everybody cannot afford 2G because majority of our population is not rich population, poor people are there. But 2G also has its own role even in our present economy, especially in the trading community level. So anyway, it was very informative talk, thought-provoking too. Thank you.
Adi, thanks. The government is refusing to ban 2G in India.
Yes.
It is because of this factor. There is a law. There are 27 crore people are comfortable with 2G. There could be many reasons.
Not only question of comfortable, they are getting their day-to-day things done through the 2G.
Right. Yeah. So it matches their lifestyle.
Yes.
It's a lot of comfort in having 2G. So government is not prepared to ban it, even though telecom companies have been saying, please ban it so that they can get 4G and more business, this, that, etc. The government said, no, we are sticking, 2G will continue. But at some point, the 2G has to go. And you can do that when you've established access to all villages. Still 34,000 villages are still pending. Another 2-3 years more, the fiber optic cable or some other technology will ensure internet is available throughout India. Then government may take a decision, say, okay, now we'll stop 2G. Everybody has got internet. And 4G phones are made in India now. I'm not talking about Apple. There are low-end 4G phones available in India. So people can afford it. Government may come with a scheme. You have been holding to you're living with 2G for the last so many years. I will give so much of concession. I may give you a financial help. Something like that may come. But not immediately, not for another 2-3 years as I see it. Yeah, Sabu.
Okay, anybody else? Miriam, George, sir. Any doubts or any comments? Okay, wind up PM. So thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sabu. And I hope you remain happy with your 4G and your rain, which is coming in plenty to you.
How is in Coimbatore? Rain?
Coimbatore is a rain shadow region.
We
know, we have the comfort that it is raining in Palghat because temperature drops by 2-3 degrees. Oh, Palghat, it is raining. And our reservoir is in that area, Siruvani.
Yes.
If that gets filled,
so water is okay. Water is okay. Water is okay.
Yeah. Water is okay. We have to only look for internet thereafter. Okay then. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you so much. Good night.
Bye. Bye.